What is going on, YouTube people? Well, today, PSA just added about 3,000 new group submitters to their repertoire. If you haven't seen yet, there was some chit chat about this most of last week online into this week. I guess some stores were kind of beta testing this and information kind of started to get out. I almost did this video yesterday, but ended up waiting for the official announcement. And GameStop is now basically a group submitter for PSA, for non-sports card, or TCG rather, and sports cards. Now, to the best of my knowledge, this is not live in every store yet. So double check before you run on out to take your little cards to the 17-year-old kid working at GameStop. But this gives PSA a massive network of drop-off locations. Now, before everyone freaks out in the comments about, taking your cards to GameStop to grade, I don't know that anyone watching this video is the target market for this. If you are on YouTube watching a news video about PSA, I don't think you're the audience that they are going for on this one. This, to me, feels like my first grading. Essentially, I think the target market for this is moms that they have kids or dads that want to grade some Charizards, and the parents don't even know what card grading is, or have no concept of how it works, how to do it, how to send stuff in. That's my guess on who this is marketed to. You'll be able to take your cards in. You will be able to submit them. They even give a little note about accessorizing, that if you don't have penny sleeves and semi-rigids, they will have them available for you. But if you're watching this video, you'll know that you could have got them over at the Pennysleever. Today's video is sponsored by our good friends over at Pennysleever, your home for semi-rigids and soft sleeves. Go get your penny sleeves over there. You can get 10% off with the code NEOCARDS on your first order. Free shipping over $49. And they even have a combo pack that gives you penny sleeves and semi-rigids together. So before you head out to GameStop, don't pay their marked up prices, even if you're a pro member. Head on over to the Pennysleever. Shout out to them for sponsoring today's video. So, like I was saying, I don't think we are the target demo for this. I think this is for parents. I think this is for kids that maybe don't fully understand card grading, maybe even little kids. I think that's what this is geared to. I don't think most people using this are going to take advantage of this. They list only 2 options. I don't know. I assume you'll have other tiers available, but the fact that they're only advertising the absolute base level of $16 per card for TCG and $20 per card for sports kind of tells you the target demo that they're going for. You do get free shipping if it's for pro members, and then they kind of walk you through it here, how it works. Drop off your cards, PSA authenticates and grades, and then collect or trade in. So that is one thing that's part of this. GameStop will basically give you immediate offers for the cards through their previously announced trade-in program that they had that was around PSA slabs. At the time they announced that, this was something that we had speculated on, that, would this be the next logical leap? And it appears that it is. Now, I don't know if this is an exclusive arrangement or if this could potentially open up to other grading companies as well. But at least at its face, PSA really seems to be doing a lot of the making waves, innovation, partnering than some of the other companies are, or at least they're beating out the other companies to the partnerships. Because that, from PSA's perspective, this is a no-brainer because the lift on them is, I'm sure there was some tech back-end stuff that had to happen. I'm sure from an IT perspective and that sort of thing, a lot of nonsense had to happen to pull this off. But from a actual infrastructure standpoint, this isn't really anything crazy for them. So to just immediately add almost 3,000 group submitters potentially overnight feels like a win. And this gets people in the PSA ecosystem. So if their target market is young kids, parents, whatever, they get in the habit at a very young age of grading with PSA, and their hopes probably are that that continues as the young collector levels up and starts sending cards on their own or whatever the case might be. From a GameStop perspective, obviously it gives people a reason to go into the store, and anytime a retailer can bait you into coming into the store, even if it's not to specifically shop there, they're going to take that risk. And it also appears like it is a way to help funnel cards into GameStop's inventory. We've already seen them partner with Backyard Breaks for repacks. To the best of my knowledge, and I don't have this very firm, it sounds like the inventory that they are using for those repacks is GameStop, and they're essentially just using Backyard Breaks as almost like a branding deal for that. So this is a way for them to potentially maybe get a little bit of inventory by people trading stuff in after they grade it. So it's kind of a win-win for both there for GameStop. I can already hear the comment section about GameStop employees stealing cards and all that sort of nonsense. And listen, I am sure that will probably happen somewhere. I don't know what kind of security protocols they're going to have in place in the shop, or in the store rather. But I would be willing to bet at some point in time in the next year or so, I am doing some sort of video about how a GameStop employee stealed some kid's Pikachu or something. So we'll see how that goes. But generally speaking, I do think this is a win for probably PSA because it's a pretty low effort lift on their part, at least from my perspective. I'm not the one that had to sit there and probably write a bunch of code for stuff or whatever they had to do. From GameStop's perspective, it's a way to bait customers in and potentially get some cards in inventory. I don't know how big of a lift it was for them. Also potentially seems like, hey, why not? If it works, great. If it doesn't work, I don't know how big the lift was to begin with, at least from PSA's side of things. And now all of a sudden you have group submitting offices everywhere. In addition to PSA's push for local drop-off events. They talked about that in the PSA podcast episode, and you could see that really ramping up throughout this year, where PSA is getting out to more shows and shops to do in-person drop-off events where you just go and drop your cards off. There's no on-site grading or anything, but it saves you at least from having to ship stuff off. I know a lot of people personally that they don't grade cards very often. They don't like the idea of having to ship things off. They're not used to it. So they would rather drop something off in someone's hand and then just only have to deal with it getting shipped back. So those have been pretty popular. We'll see how these go. I don't know that we'll ever get like true numbers on how it's doing, but it can't hurt. We'll leave it at that. But like I said, I don't think we're the target market for this. So as always, curious for your thoughts and comments down below. I am on the road to New York City. It is Comic-Con week. We will catch you boys and girls on the next one. Reminder, probably no weekly sports card market update this week. If there is one, it'll probably be a shorter version. Expect to see some NYCC vlog action from the show floor later this week. Catch you boys and girls later. Peace.